delivery. So we got a whole bunch of boxes today from Honest to Goodness. So impressed with their service. I actually ordered this via their Wholesale website because I spend over $500. I qualify for a wholesale account, and that means that the prices are at wholesale prices. They go down a ton, and I really recommend that if it's something that is suitable to your situation. Now, they took about 2 days to pack and mail this out to me, so that's amazing service. Basically, I'm taking the amounts that I'm saving on my Woolies and Coles shop by not buying everything through them, and I'm using that to do a bulk purchase with Honest to Goodness. I used to do it annually and still just fill in the gaps from the supermarket. Now I'm really trying to do this probably every 3 months, quarterly, and that way my pantry is stocked. I know we all lived through a situation a few years ago where the food or the products we were used to buying may not have been available. So it's just something that really drives me to have a stocked pantry and maybe not be in that cycle so much of buying every 1 or 2 weeks and using all my funds towards just one corporation or two big corporations like Woolies or Coles, but to just diversify into other markets. That also helps. My dollar is helping to strengthen these other businesses so that they're available when I need to buy later on, right? Because my money has supported them to get larger and more stable and to be able to sell to me. So I thought I'd take you through unpacking what I've bought here, which is just some staples that we do use ongoing. These things worked out to be price comparable to the supermarkets anyway. Sometimes the quality is higher. Certainly there's less packaging because it's in bulk. And then I might take you on a tour of my pantry, see where we're going there. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, got everything unpacked. Now this is to stock up my pantry and I'm hoping for 3 months. Remember, we are feeding 8 people all day, every day here in our home. So if you're feeding 4 people, you don't need to buy as much as us. If you're buying 1 person, obviously you'll need 1/8 of the supplies. So just keep that in mind with the seemingly large amounts that I purchase. Okay, so the jasmine rice, I've really been enjoying jasmine rice lately. It seems to cook up really nicely and has a great flavor. So I stocked up on 5, 10, 15 kilogram bags of the rice. I just figured rice is a staple. It will absolutely fill tummies if for some reason we just need to make sure we've got access to food. It's always good to have a good amount of rice in the pantry for sure. Apple cider vinegar. I use this for all kinds of things. If I'm having trouble with reflux, I will have some apple cider vinegar in water and it cures it in moments. We'll also just use that with our stock as well, putting it into chicken water, the chicken's water, dogs and cats and cows' water intermittently in small amounts, and we don't have any great health problems in our animals. Hey, maybe it helps, I don't know. But the price on it is great, and I love to keep it in bulk in the pantry. This is my first time buying the bulk maple syrup from Honest to Goodness. There's 5 litres in here. Once I break down the wholesale cost, it actually costs exactly the same as the 250 ml bottles from, is it 250 ml or 500? I have to double check. But the ones from Coles and Woolies. So the price is really good and it's actually organic. So it's like an upgrade. And I love having 5 litres of the stuff in my pantry. It'll be interesting to see how long it lasts. What I will do is open this, decant it into those other maple syrup glass bottles after, you know, obviously giving them a wash, and just keep that in the fridge as we go. Now this is another thing, kind of like rice. It's just a staple that fills tummies if I need to do so. If I haven't planned a snack or whatnot, it's just so good to have access to popcorn kernels. They're a product of Australia, they're organic, and they are very budget. They're a very, very budget food or snack. So I'm happy to have those. That's 5 kilograms there. Now almond meal, if you're a regular on my channel, you'll know that I quite regularly swap almond meal for the wheat in baking, or use almond meal as a gluten-free flour. So we use that mostly in baking cookies and biscuits, cakes and all that kind of thing. So that's a 4 kilo bag. I've got 2 4 kilogram bags, so 8 kilos of the almond meal. Now, rolled oats, they are something that may actually be slightly cheaper to buy in the smaller bags at the supermarkets. When I've price crunched those in the past, they have been slightly cheaper to buy from Woolies or Coles. However, I just wanted to have bulk in my pantry. So I have got 3 bags of the 4 kilos. 1, 2, 3. There's Australian grown organic rolled oats. So it's going to be great to just have that stored in bulk. It's such a good food for granola, breakfast, porridges, another tummy filler. Okay, so the last pantry stock up I did, I bought this 12.5 kilo, the same bag of the organic white spelt flour, and we just successfully subbed in spelt for a lot of recipes where something like almond meal or a more whole food gluten-free flour wouldn't work. We would use spelt flour for, and I went through that bag pretty quickly, definitely within maybe 8 weeks, definitely 8 to 12 weeks. Now for my environment, for my pantry and my climate, I don't actually decant my bulk flours like this. With 8 of us, we'll go through it quickly enough. Now I am also switching over to baking my own bread at home, so I can't imagine this flour is going to last very long. I've never had a problem with weevils or pantry moths or things like that. Oh, actually no, I have. When I lived in Queensland, I had a problem with like infestation in the flour. So that's when you have to freeze it, keep it in a freezer, keep it in a cold place. In the southern states, we're in far south New South Wales, in Tasmania, I haven't had any issue with that kind of thing. So proceed at your own caution, of course, but for me, I keep it in the bag, we use it quickly enough that it's then gone. Now this was interesting. I did not realize Honest to Goodness sold this sourdough pasta in bulk. So they sold it at a pretty good price. This is 4 kilograms worth. Now, it just comes in a big bulk pack. It's really, when you're purchasing from the wholesale for Honest to Goodness, this is really designed for health food shops and organic co-ops to take that and pop it into their, their shared bins. So it has arrived, this is a compostable bag, which is great, I'm happy with that. It has arrived split. I'll have to decant this pasta, 4 kilos of this sourdough pasta, into glass jars, maybe a food safe plastic bucket. I don't know. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do with that, but this pasta is beautiful. It's really lovely product. And the price was great in bulk, so I'm really happy with that. That's going to help fill up the pantry as well. Now these are basically for granola. So I've gone with the Syrian black pumpkin seeds. They're a product of Austria. The other pepitas or pumpkin seeds Honest to Goodness sell are from China. I thought I'd give this Austrian version a go. I've gotten a few of those. Now, of course, that's great in baking and granola and muesli bars and all kinds of things, and also just for a snack. So I've gotten 3 of those. They are 500 grams each, 1.5 kilos of the pumpkin seeds. Then for the other mix in with my granola, I've just kept it simple and gone with Australian sunflower seeds. I also really enjoy these and the pumpkin seeds on salads as well. So I went with 2 kilos of that, and that we will probably still be using those, certainly in 3 months' time, I would think. Now, in our house, dried fruit is a bit of a treat. It's quite expensive to buy like sulfite-free, naturally dried fruits. So they are not a staple. They also, I just prefer fresh fruit when we can. However, yep, I splashed out and got a kilo of the organic dried apricots. Now, these are beautiful. They taste so good. I love them. They are different from, the supermarket version, which is bright orange, because it has that, is it sulfur dioxide? It has something added to preserve the color. This one does not, and it's just a lovely dark earthy brown. Really delicious. I got 1 kilo, and this is a definite treat for my kids. They love dried cranberries, and so do I. They're really yummy. These ones are naturally dried, and they're sweetened with organic apple juice, so there's no sugar added to those dried fruit products, and that is just nice to have in the pantry. And then cacao powder, gosh, something that's becoming truly a luxury item with the pricing, which I know is climate related. But I have just bought 2, they're not selling the 4 kilo bulk bags at the moment. They are saying they're out of stock. So I've got 2 750 gram bags. So 1.5 kilograms of cacao, which is a staple in our home. So cacao powder, baking, hot chocolates, iced chocolate as we come into summer, things like that. So there is a stock up. Avoiding the supermarket stock up. These are just things that I, after research, have found that are affordable or good quality through honest to goodness. And I'm going to pack it all in my pantry, and I'll show you what I have got in there. Okay, so this is my original walk-in pantry in my farmhouse here. I think this was built in about the 1960s, but I'm honestly not sure. So I'll take you through what I keep as a stockpile backup for my family of 8. Okay, so I've been building our stockpile for probably about 12 months now. And it really does give me a good insight to the things that we will eat and use over and over, and the things that just tend to hang about and not get eaten. So one thing that is great now with the Comfy Koalas subscription is that we always just have nappies coming. These are a great brand, Australian. Are they Australian made? Maybe. They are 80% biodegradable, and that's the best I can do with a disposable nappy. So it's great that that's always in stock in the pantry. I have a ton of toilet paper here. Oh, look, here's one ready to go. And there's there's a tower of the stuff. Now, what I do is I just keep buying it every pay period, every fortnight when I do the shopping, whether we need it or not. And that's how we grow a stockpile. Dog leash is stored in here because sometimes my kids try to play with it, and that is not a good idea. Okay, so up here I have like granola and baking mix-in stuff. Desiccated coconut and shredded coconut. I've got a couple of big bags of that. It's very cost effective, and coconut is a wonderful food to have in your diet. The sunflower seeds and the black pumpkin seeds, which are salad toppers or baking, muesli, granola. And this little basket just has packs that are already opened, stored in there. Here are some things I haven't been using very recently. The butter chicken mix, we just haven't had curry for ages. This I bought when it was half price, and we've just never used it. And I do keep some lemon juice in here just as an emergency access. These are the tinned veggies I've got. So I've just got a few tins of beans, chickpeas, green beans, and then kidney beans, the peas, corns and carrots, they should probably be up here, and some cannellini beans. If there's something I want to expand on here in my food storage, it's dried beans. At this point I don't have any dried beans, and I don't have any routine where I cook them from scratch. But I would really like to keep them because it's such good long-term bulk food storage. I'd like to keep dried beans. So I've got some tins of black beans as well, just beans that we use quite regularly in our Mexican cooking, and some baked beans too. I have my preferred corn kernels. I don't know why they don't just make the big tins that are the same with no sugar, Aussie made, but they don't, so I buy them in these little dinky packs. This is something I should probably also expand on, is tinned fruit. Pear, apple, and some pineapple here, which is mostly for using on our pizza. Now, these soups I like to buy as an emergency food only when they're on sale. So these were half price, and I bought them to pop into the pantry for a rainy day, so to speak. This is a lovely soup, quinoa, kale and red lentil, which I think I've said before, I really need to learn how to replicate that. That would be delicious. A few tomatoes. Now this sort of pickle section is looking a bit sad at the moment. There's jalapenos, some crushed garlic, a couple jars of olives and a jar of pickles. Now I should have several of those. We just haven't been eating pickles as much lately. Here is all almond meal. I've got one left of the small supermarket bag, and then I've got the 2 big bags that we just got delivered, so 8 kilograms. Here I have icing sugar. Now you can see that we just don't use much of that. I think I received that about 6 months ago or so, and we've barely touched it, but I do like to have it in stock but I like to have it on hand for celebrations and things like that. I've got brown rice flour, which I sometimes use as a gluten-free flour substitute, cassava flour for the same reason, and then we've got our bulk salt. Now see, I probably should have topped that up. I've only got maybe 2 kilograms of salt left here in stock, and that was of course a necessity. Down here I've got bicarb soda, and then we've got that 5 kilo bag of popcorn kernels. This is a little basket of fish, so there's all kinds of different types there. And here is our rice storage. So I had been buying 750 gram bags from the supermarket, and I've got a few kilos there of that. And then we've got 15 kilos from Honest to Goodness. 1, 2, 3, 5 kilo bags. Down here we do have some cleaning supplies like dishwasher powder in bulk. I think I have a laundry liquid tucked away there, and then I have probably about 20 kilograms of flour here. We've got whole wheat flour, white spelt, and then at the front the smaller bag is white baker's flour. So I am going to start baking almond bread, and I just want to make sure I have that in bulk when I need it. Okay, so that's this wall of the pantry. Now over here I've just got tomato products, so a good amount of tinned tomatoes, and I will be going to Aldi to check out their supplies and prices soon too, and ditto with the pasta sauce now. So I've got a few of those. Peanut butter. Now anytime I try to source organic peanut butter, anywhere I've found it, the peanuts come from China, and I just don't know about the integrity of the organic certification from other countries. So I'm just going with these Mavers for now. I love that I can reuse this jar, and I like the price point on the big 750 gram. So basically I'm just buying only those now, and these are a few leftover ones from, yeah, that need to be used. This is our lonely little cacao powder. I've already refilled my pantry in the kitchen with one of those. This is our maple syrup now for the next, well, I'll have to see how long that lasts. I've just got to open this up. It's got a little tap, and then I can fill up glass bottles to keep in the kitchen. Our honey, I do have a little bit here. What is each one? Is 500 grams. So, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5 kilograms of honey, 3 bottles of the olive oil. Now there is a supplier I'm looking forward to switching over to who will supply me with 15 litres of Australian olive oil at a time. I'll just store that in this pantry and decant for kitchen use. And then oats. I've got 4 of the kilogram bags, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 kilogram bags, and that's just, yeah, oats I see as a staple, so we keep that in stock. Here's the sourdough pasta. I really need to store that properly. I'll be looking at that today. This is the last of our coconut sugar. Hi, sweetie. I can see that we are short on our jam. We have a couple of the Maver's raspberry jam, 1 mustard, sesame oil, and 2 organic tomato sauce. Here is some pasta. We haven't eaten this for a little while. We need to eat through that and finish it off. I've also got a big, it's probably 3 kilos left of lentils and a couple of big jars of coconut oil. I think I should replenish that a bit too. We haven't eaten curry for ages, so we've got a bit of a step stool here of the coconut cream. That's the brand that I like. It just has no additives. And I know that their coconut milk is just the cream watered down. So I figure I may as well just buy the cream and do the watering down myself. And then this is my husband's milk for his coffee, tea, whatever. This is some more oats. And this is the pasta that I've just purchased in bulk. So instead of all these little bags, which are 400 gram, I've bought 4 kilograms in one big pack, and the price was right. And then noodles. So rice noodles and the udon noodles that we use. So that's our pantry stockpile for 8 people. So thanks for joining me for my pantry restock. My kitchen is a bit of a mess. There are boxes everywhere. I've got to work out some storage of some things and just get some unpacking things finished. If you have enjoyed checking out my pantry today and you like this content, please do feel free to comment or like or subscribe. I share all kinds of homemaking, homesteading, and associated content of mum life, large family mum life. So see you next time.